Hi guys, Kachi here, also known as Delakaba. Since instigating my new intro to my videos, I have had several people reach out to me wondering where I came up with the Sasquatch pictures that I'm using in my intro. And what I'd like to do here is just show you some of these Sasquatch pictures that I have in my collection so you can see the quality of them. Here's one I'm using as an icon now. I made some adjustments to it till it was as I like it. But here we've got a Sasquatch playing guitar in the forest. Here's another one. I love this picture. It is absolutely fantastic. I've done some adjustments to it that we'll see as we go farther along. Here's a Sasquatch who's got the light from a helicopter on him. Here's one who's rushing through the forest. Obviously, looks like he's about to lose his lunch behind a tree. Here's another fella taking a closer look at us with the sun shining through the trees. This fellow has obviously come to visit my house and does not appreciate being photographed. Here's the very first picture that we saw, but in a more photographic fashion. Here's a female Sasquatch. She obviously is not happy. Her boyfriend must be hanging out in the forest with me and all the other Sasquatches, and she come to tell him to take his butt home. And that's obviously her father who's comforting her, because obviously her boyfriend is a no-good lout who hangs out in the forest all day with me playing guitar. Here's a much more crazy psychedelic type of Sasquatch. Dude is happy but definitely needs a toothbrush. Here's the same fella with a sunset view, and another one here. And you can see here's my fishing image with the broken fishing rod and the fishing line in his mouth. Here's another interesting fishing picture, though the fishing rod is all jacked up, as you can tell, and the background is kind of weird with the sunset and stuff. And this probably clues you in that it's AI that has helped me create these images. Here's one in an anime style. The yellow fishing vest didn't quite work out the way that I had hoped. Here's the one of Sasquatch hunting. He's obviously attempting to disguise himself as a deer. The deer's not buying it. Here's another fishing image, and again you can see that there's some things that are messed up in this photo. Here's another one, some odd things going on. The Sasquatch is awesome, but there's definitely some cursed imagery going on here with these fish. This one's not bad. I like the look on his face. I could probably do something to fix his fishing rod. Here's another one when I was trying to come up with crafting pictures. And here's the one I chose eventually for crafting. And here's the dad who is giving his daughter the hug. And this is a variation of the guitar picture. But so you can see that I've got a whole bunch of really cool images in a number of different styles. And today I'm going to introduce you to the application that I used to make these pictures. And that application is called Dream AI. It's Dream by Wombo. Now, Dream by Wombo is absolutely free. This is the first thing I want to stress. The free version of this will allow you to generate one picture at a time, and there's a plethora of art styles available. Some of them are premium. You would have to have a premium account to use them, but a lot of them are very cool and available. And you'll also see that I can upload a starter image and actually use that image as the basis of something new. Alright, and what we're going to do is I'm just going to show you how this works. We enter a prompt, alright, and that prompt should be relatively simple. We can use up to 200 characters to do this, and so the first thing I'm going to do is enter a prompt, and I'm just going to say Sasquatch running. There we go. I'm going to select Realistic version 2 and create. It's going to start chugging over here. And there's our running Sasquatch. Let's just expand that so we can see him. And obviously this must have been a hiker with hiking sticks. They're almost like ski poles that they use to push themselves along. And I don't care for that, so I'm just going to clear that. I'm going to ask it to generate it again. Here we go. Now this one is not bad at all. It's got some interesting perspective. It's a little bit sharp in his chest structure, but it's not bad. So as you can see, it produces some pretty interesting images. Now if we let's say anime style Sasquatch. Smiling anime style Sasquatch, and we're going to use this very first one here, Bulio Journey V2. All right, and create, and let's see what we get. There we go. Check that dude out. See, so that's really fun. That's really interesting. And obviously, what the AI did is it picked out some images that it found that it felt gave a good body posture or whatever, and then took anime styling and created this Sasquatch. Now, if I wanted to keep this one, I'd click right here, which is a download button. Over here is the expansion button, right? Now, the premium version of this allows you to generate 4 images at a time. It allows you to create variations. If I select create variations, you'll see that they want me to use the premium, and I'm using just the free stuff. But there are so many different styles available here, just so many neat things you can do. Some of them have some issues. So if, for instance, let's say I go to Watercolor V2 and I ask it to generate this image. Let's take a look at what it does. You can see that when we zoom in, this is very clearly a person wearing a fur coat. You can see his pants legs, and you can see his boots and all of that stuff. And the issue with Watercolor V2 is it's never once generated a Sasquatch for me. It's always generated a person in a forest environment, often wearing shaggy clothing. But that doesn't mean that it's not of use to us, because what we can do is come down here. Let's upload image. Let's select, well, let's select our guitar guy here. Alright, so here is our guitar guy. We can crop the image if we want. I'm going to leave it as is. Alright. Default influence. Your input image has some effect on the final artwork. And I'm going to set that to strong. I want this image, but I want it done in a watercolor style. Okay? So we should have watercolor selected. Let's just go up and double check and make sure of that. Yeah, we've got watercolor selected, and we're going to select create. And it's going to chug. Now, sometimes what will happen is it will just chug and chug and chug and chug and chug and chug and do nothing. All you have to do is come up, refresh it, re-enter your prompt, and go again. But here it has taken that image and it has done a watercolor style interpretation of that image. I'm not really happy with his facial structure here, so I'm going to ask it to generate the image again. See what we get. There he's got a bit smilier face. Check that out. See that right there? Now look at that. That is absolutely fantastic. The guitar is very crisp and clean. The Sasquatch is interesting to look at. It's absolutely gorgeous. Let's try something different. Let's go to VFX version 2 and see what it does. Now that's really dynamic. That is really dynamic. It has a bit of the watercolor flavor to it, but a bit more of reality. It's maintained our primary image. So for some reason, it's added on an extra finger, but we could edit that out if we needed to. So this is how I've created the Sasquatches that I've been using for my artwork. The beautiful thing about this is it is unique artwork, which means no copyright infringements. You are free to download and use them. You can generate image after image after image, and as long as you're willing to put up with doing it one at a time and playing with your prompts and skipping what are some of the premium things, you can do all the artwork you want. So let's try Soft Touch. That looks interesting here. Now, the reason I'm not saving these images is because I've already got a whole collection of Sasquatch images I really like. But let's take a look here. See, that's kind of jacked up the guitar in his face, and I don't really care for that. I'll try one more generation. Wow, yeah, that one's kind of cursed. So each one of these has its own unique kind of take that the AI follows. Here's Fantastical. Again, kind of wacky. So you can experiment with the different styles with an image that you uploaded yourself. All right, and this guitar Sasquatch, of course, is my prompt was Sasquatch with guitar, or Sasquatch plays guitar, and this is the image it gave me. It was absolutely fantastic, and using that as my start. One of them I've really wanted to try here is ink and line art. But let's say you have a picture that you really like, but you wanna kind of style it up to. Ooh, wow, yeah, that's scary. Let's try line art. There's one called Ghibli, which is supposed to have kind of an anime overtone. Yeah, he's a happy camper. Now, the thing to remember is that up here, I have a prompt, okay, that says smiling anime style Sasquatch. So that's affecting everything. If I just get rid of all of that and I just say Sasquatch and say create, you can see it's doing wacky things. So you got to kind of pick and choose and play. But let's see. We're going to refresh this so that it gets rid of any preloaded images, right? Let's say Flying Hawk. All right, Flying Hawk. Let's go to Watercolor V2 and let's create. And you can see we've got an image here in a watercolor, but that for some reason it's blended in some sort of structural stuff here that I just don't understand. So let's come up, let's change flying to soaring. Let's go to realistic V2. And there you go. Check that out. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? It's beautifully done. It's absolutely unique. I can tell from the feather structure, basically, that it's combined together elements from a number of different hawk photos and used them, and it's absolutely gorgeous. So for instance, you know, if my pal Hawkeye was trying to put together artwork for his channel, this might be a way for him to come up with an interesting situation. Let's go to watercolor, and let's say giant carp. No, better yet, giant koi. Create. And that is a great illustration of a koi. Great illustration of a koi in watercolor. Let's come down to ukiyo-e. Ukiyo-e is Japanese woodblock print. Let's try that. Kind of a interesting take on it. Kind of wacky, crazy fantasy art. Giant koi fantasy art. See, fantasy allows it to kind of twist things up, and so that's why it's all kind of weird. But on the other hand, if we go up, say, for instance, to let's try VFX. VFX is premium. Oh no, it's VFX 2 that we're actually after. This guy. Let's try this one. But my strange psychedelic squatch was made using Flora V2. There, see, that's really interesting. That's something that I could take as a starting point, for instance, and I could make some adjustments to create some craziness. Let's try Flora 2, see how wacky this gets. See, so here it's very interesting, very dynamic things that, of course, I'd never think of doing in an artistic style. But anyway, I just wanted to show you guys, you know, what it is that I was doing in order to create my Sasquatch images. I tried a half dozen different AI art generators. There were some that generated actually better and more dynamic images than this, but they basically had 100 points. When you enter the account and you sign up for it, you're given 100 points, and it costs like 5 points per image generation, and you use up those points, and the points renew once a month. This, on the other hand, is completely free. It doesn't have a point system. It does an excellent job. It's got a crap load of different styles that are not premium, and it really does a good job. But I just wanted to share this with you guys because I have had some people inquire of me as to where I came up with my Sasquatch pictures. And so there you go. Thank you so much for joining me. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. YouTube algorithm, you know what to do, blah, blah. And I will see you guys in the next one. And remember, if you're going to be a bear, be a grizzly.